America has lost one of its most powerful political figures. Former U.S. Vice President Dick Cheney has passed away at the age of 84. And now, the biggest question everyone's asking is, what happens to his $150 million fortune? According to TMZ, Cheney died peacefully at his home in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, surrounded by his family, after months of declining health. But his death has opened a new conversation, not about politics this time, but about power, wealth, and legacy. For over 5 decades, Dick Cheney was one of the most influential and controversial men in Washington. From serving as vice president under George W. Bush to leading one of the world's most powerful oil corporations, Cheney's name became synonymous with both political dominance and financial success. According to Marca, his net worth is estimated at around $150 million, built not just through politics, but through corporate strategy and investment. Before becoming vice president, Cheney was the CEO of Halliburton, an oilfield services giant that saw enormous profits under his leadership. His salary, bonuses, and stock options from those years made him one of the wealthiest government officials in American history. And even after leaving Halliburton to join the Bush administration in 2001, Cheney continued to receive deferred payments and retained stock options worth millions, all disclosed in official records. His financial growth didn't stop there. After leaving office in 2009, Cheney became a highly paid author and speaker. His memoir, In My Time, sold hundreds of thousands of copies, and his corporate consulting ventures brought in even more income. But now that he's gone, attention has shifted to the Cheney family, and what happens to that fortune next. According to Hindustan Times, Cheney is survived by his wife, Lynne Cheney, and 2 daughters, Liz Cheney and Mary Cheney. Lynne, 83, is expected to inherit the majority of his estate. She's been his lifelong partner, co-author, and the quiet force behind much of his career. The couple shared over 60 years together, building not just a family, but an empire. Their eldest daughter, Liz Cheney, is a well-known political figure herself, the former Wyoming congresswoman who made headlines for standing up to Donald Trump during the January 6th hearings. Reports suggest Liz may take over her father's political and philanthropic legacy, including control of the Cheney Institute for the Study of Statesmanship, a think tank dedicated to U.S. leadership and policy. Meanwhile, Mary Cheney, the younger daughter, has built her own success in corporate communications. She's married to Heather Poe and has mostly stayed out of the political spotlight. According to Zoom Bangla, Mary will likely manage the family's private trusts, real estate holdings, and long-term investments, including shares connected to Halliburton and other energy firms. Cheney's real estate portfolio alone is impressive. His Wyoming mansion in Jackson Hole, where he spent his final years, is worth several $1,000,000, surrounded by acres of mountain land. He also owned an estate in McLean, Virginia, valued at around $8 million, used for private and political gatherings for decades. Financial experts believe Cheney structured his wealth through family trusts and charitable foundations years before his death. This not only ensures privacy, but also minimizes taxes, a move completely in line with Cheney's reputation as a meticulous strategist. While the details of his will remain private, sources close to the family say that his wealth will be divided across 3 major sectors: family assets, charitable endowments, and political legacy funds. The family assets include real estate and investments. The endowments fund education programs co-founded by Lynne Cheney, and the legacy funds preserve Cheney's historical and political archives. But beyond the legal documents and numbers, this story is about legacy and the public reaction to it. Social media exploded after the news broke. Tributes poured in from former presidents and world leaders, calling Cheney a patriot who shaped America's direction during the early 2000s. Others, however, reignited debates about his role in the Iraq War and his ties to corporate contracts through Halliburton. One user wrote, "You can love him or hate him, but Dick Cheney changed how America sees power." Even now, Cheney remains a figure who divides opinion, a man celebrated for his leadership and criticized for his decisions. But no one can deny that he played a key role in defining an era of U.S. politics, one driven by energy, defense, and global strategy. According to Marca, Cheney's financial success was deeply tied to his ability to navigate both government and business. Few figures managed to merge the 2 worlds so effectively. And that's what makes his story unique. He was a master of influence, both in public policy and private enterprise. As of now, the Cheney family has requested privacy while preparing for a small, private funeral in Wyoming. Liz Cheney released a brief statement saying, "My father was a man of integrity, courage, and devotion to this country. His love for America was unmatched. Historians are already calling his passing the end of an era, the era of quiet power. Dick Cheney never sought the spotlight, but he was often the man pulling the strings behind it. His influence shaped wars, economies, and even presidents. And now, as the world looks back on his life, his financial empire remains one final reflection of that power. Carefully built, strategically protected, and silently transferred to the next generation." This story proves that even the most powerful men can't take their empires with them, but what they leave behind, the wealth, the influence, the legacy, continues to shape history. So, the question isn't just what happens to Cheney's $150 million fortune. It's how that fortune will shape the future of one of America's most powerful families. And as reports continue to emerge about the Cheney Trust, the Wyoming estate, and Halliburton-linked assets, one thing is certain: Dick Cheney's story is far from over. His power may have ended with his life, but his influence, his wealth, and his legacy will live on for generations.